16-year-old Kiely Rodni is missing from Truckee, California. She was last seen at the Prosser Family Campground at a party in the early morning hours of August 6th. Authorities are conducting ground, air, and water searches, hoping to bring Kiely back home. Hey, everybody, and welcome to the True Crime Squad. This is Katie Weaver. I'm here with my sister, co host, and partner in crime, Kristi Brower. Hello.
Hello. Hey, everybody.
How's it going?
It's going pretty well. I went to a psychic fair yesterday that was really fun, and I don't know if you can see this very well. You can't because the camera or the lights wash it out. But this is a piece of Larimar.
It is
Larimar
gorgeous.
is one of my most favorite stones, and it's very expensive. It's
Mm-hmm.
only found in one place in this color on the planet. It's so
Mm-hmm.
beautiful. So I'm really stoked about this. I want to put it
Awesome.
on something different as a necklace, but I'm so happy about it. And then this,
Yeah.
excuse me, you can see a little bit better. This is Prenite, and Prenite is known as the healer stone. So
Uh-huh.
I thought that was pretty perfect for me right now as I'm
Yeah.
preparing for my surgery, that I could use that. So these are a couple of things. I got some other things too, I will admit, but these are probably my two favorite that I got. So
Yeah. I
that
love
was
it.
really fun.
Well, good. Tearing
Yeah.
it up.
Yeah.
I love it. Well, good. Well, we are on Tuesday already.
Right.
Yeah.
And we're
I
already
know.
halfway through August.
I know. I
What?
can't believe that. August
The
is
summer is
flying
almost
past.
over.
I would imagine a lot of you kids have already started school or are getting really close to it if you have kids at home still. Whew. It's crazy.
Yeah.
Crazy talk. But here we are. Yeah. And it's just one step closer to fall,
Yes.
which is my jam. So I'm all about it.
Mhm. We're already, having some days that aren't as hot, which I
Yeah.
think
Oh,
is
yeah. It's
nice.
getting way better. Yeah.
Mhm.
Good stuff. Well, we have a jam-packed episode for you guys today, but I
We
want to let our
do.
patrons know that we have two new Patreons. So if you haven't seen them yet or
Yes, we
haven't
do.
noticed them come up over in Patreon, run over there and take a peek. So we have two new ones. What happened to Tammy Lynn Leppert, as well as Anatoly Moskvin. Uh, that one is like a real life horror story. And
Mhm.
we saved it for Patreon because it really is just a true life horror that, well, we don't want to get kicked off YouTube. So,
Pretty much, yeah.
but if you're on Patreon and you're a hardcore true crimer, don't miss that.
It's super interesting. It's super gross, but super interesting.
It is for sure. Yeah. All righty. Well, let's dive in. So, Kristi, I know you're going to kick us off with a true crime update.
Yes. So, when is a serial killer not a serial killer?
Oh, well, when they didn't do it or when they all happened at the same time?
No, it is when someone posts about a fake serial killer on social media and scares the living shit out of a community.
Oh. Oh,
This
I've
is in
seen that happen
Carnegie,
before. Okay.
right? This is in Carnegie, Pennsylvania.
Mhm.
And there's a fake post going around on Facebook. And unfortunately, what happens is if people don't, do their research and learn and make sure something is true, because if you saw it on Facebook, that is not a guarantee. It's
No.
been shared all over the place, but it's a fake post about a serial killer preying on women in the Carnegie, Pennsylvania area. And there's even a photo of a man with a face that's kind of blurred with the caption that it's this guy,
Mhm.
that he's hunting in Carnegie, Pennsylvania, and there have already been several disappearances.
Mhm.
It even says My friend was almost taken by him. He drives a truck with LED lights and hits cars of women alone. Once they pull over, he takes them. So the police chief in Carnegie, Pennsylvania, was like, "Well, this is news to me," and, which you kind of think he would know, right?
You would think, yeah. I mean, I'm glad he's
So
received this information now. Thank you, social media.
yes, yeah, he has, and that people are calling in, scared, wondering what's going on, to the police station, and
Yeah.
um, they have confirmed that it is in fact a fake post. It's a lie.
Uh-huh.
There is no one like this doing anything right now.
Mhm.
Um, and they're right now working on trying to figure out where the fake post came from because you could be in some trouble for this,
Well, yeah, scaring people and stirring stuff up.
right? I mean,
We
is
see
this
the same
literally
one
for
around here.
clicks or likes or something? Like, it's really messed up.
Mhm. We see one that rolls around here, not that one, but the same post that rolls around every so often, and it's
Mhm.
about a man in a white van trolling around neighborhoods and
Yes.
tried to get my friend's little girl in his car,
Yep. We've
and
seen that one several times.
it's everywhere, and people go, "Oh, no, that happened. That happened to my cousin." You're like, "Bro, it didn't. This is the same freaking post. It just every so often it starts rolling around again."
Yeah.
Not to say you shouldn't be very aware of your children and of kidnapping because stranger danger is very real. But yeah, posts like this don't do us any justice or don't help anything because then
No.
people don't look for the right things because of this stupid stuff.
Right. It's just it's a bad thing for your community
Mhm.
all the way around.
Yeah.
So, of course, the police in Carnegie, Pennsylvania want everyone to know this is a hoax
Mhm.
and that, because of course it also scares the shit out of people,
Yeah.
you know. But they are looking for the person who started the rumor because they're not messing around. This is not
Wow.
okay.
Interesting.
So, don't lie about serial killers on social media. It serves no one.
First. This is true. Yeah.
Yeah. So, Katie, I am going to kick the mic back over to you for our main case, which is a missing person spotlight.
Yes. All right. So today we're covering the disappearance of Kiely Rodni. Kiely Rodni lives in Truckee, California, and she disappeared a little more than a week ago now. And so I'm going to go through the case, share a few things, and then some of the speculations that are coming out. And mostly, I just want to open an investigation on this case because it's just really heating up. So this is Kylie. She is 16. She just graduated from high school early and was headed to, I believe, Sierra College in the fall.
Mm.
She is a musician. She plays the
Oh.
guitar primarily, but a lot of other interesting instruments as well. She worked at a boba tea shop and is just beyond beloved by the people that know her. She's one of those kids that seems to me like adults adore her because she's responsible and smart and approachable and
Mhm.
one of those kinds of humans.
Yeah, yeah.
And her coworkers say that she just fills up a room when she comes in. She's just that kind of kid.
Mhm.
So here's the bones of what happened. She went to a party the other in this is in Placer County in California. This is right on the border of California and Nevada, right at Donner's Pass.
Mhm.
This is a really heavily wooded, mountainous, foresty area.
Oh, yeah.
So on August 5th, she had plans, it sounds like, to go to a car show with her mom, but
Mm.
had some friends that were having a party. Basically, this was a send off to all of the kids that were going to college in the fall.
Mm.
And it's at a place at a campground where this really a place that kids are known to hang out and stuff, and this seemed
Mhm.
relatively safe, right?
Sure.
So she went to the party. And when she got to the party, she ran into a friend. She went initially with her friend Mags, Magdalene. And when she got to the party, Magdalene said she didn't stay very long, and she didn't like the vibe there, and that there some other people were saying there were some men there that were older that they didn't know that were trying to
Mm.
pressure everybody to take big hits off of a bong, and she wasn't comfy, and so she actually left like very early in the night.
So Kylie
And
did, or her friend did?
no, her friend did.
Oh,
But she
okay.
ran into another girl, Sam, that she had been good friends with in the past, and so they kind of, hooked up and, started hanging out together, and
Mhm.
the party got kind of out of hand. It sounds like there was, depending on the accounts, there were somewhere between 100 and 300 people there,
Oh,
which was
man.
much bigger than it was supposed to be. And people that had seen uh, Kylie during the night said that she was stumbling drunk. She was really inebriated. It sounds like there were also some drugs being passed around, maybe that she wasn't doing or didn't intend on doing, but there was just a lot of stuff going on.
Mhm.
And she had taken a couple of breaks to sit in her car and charge her phone with her friend Sam and with some other kids. And she had offered Sam a ride home. And Sam decided to decline because she was drunk and assumed that she was going to stay and sleep there or ride home with somebody else. She said she's a smart girl. I didn't think she was going to get in her car and drive.
Mhm.
Uh, then she said that a little bit later, after midnight at some point, uh, Kylie called her and asked her if she still needed a ride home. And she was like, "No, I just told you I don't." She was like, "Oh, yeah, okay." It was just kind of weird, but she didn't really think a lot of it, and she left.
Mhm.
Well, and then another girl had said that she did see her at the party sometime after midnight. So those are the last times she was seen.
Okay.
So in the morning, mom wakes up and she's not home. And
Mm.
she had a little exchange with her mom, a text exchange about extending her curfew
Mhm.
because she did have a drive out of there to get home. It looked like was maybe around 30 minutes ish. Nothing crazy,
Mm.
but something in that area. I mean, she was way up in
Mhm.
a campground in the mountains. And but that whole area is kind of up in the mountains, so, what have you. But anyway, so mom had, texted her and told her, "Yeah, you can be out till 12:30 and be safe." And that was the last exchange she had. So mom gets up, no Kylie. So one
Mm.
of her friends calls, or maybe she calls a friend and is asking, "Has anybody seen her? Her car's not here, her bed's not been slept in." And her friend says, "Well, we're supposed to go hiking and camping today, and we're supposed to meet at the Starbucks at 9." And she was like, "Oh, well, maybe she's just slept up there." So she goes to Starbucks, and the friends go to Starbucks, and they wait and they wait and they wait, and no Kylie. So they drive
Mm.
up to that campground, no
Mhm.
Kylie. So by that evening, she is declared a missing person. And the police up there, the sheriff's office at Placer County has been amazing. They have worked
Mm.
really hard. I'm glad to get to say that because we all know how often we've seen this go the other direction. But
Right.
these guys, at least up to this point, have been amazing. They have been doing daily press conferences and all kinds of searching because there's all of there's so much aquatic, there's so many lakes there and ponds, and there's a
Mhm.
lot of waterways that have to be looked at. But there's also all of this forested area. The police are calling it an abduction at this point, or a potential abduction.
That's
Why?
interesting.
Hmm.
So they
Why?
know something that's not been released.
Perhaps they do. They have set up a tip line. One thing that they ran into, one challenge, is that they were concerned that teenagers might not talk because they were all at a party drinking and maybe doing some drugs. And so they were worried that we were going to have a lot of kids just kind of go tight lipped. And I think it's
Mhm.
interesting because whenever I research a case like this, I look for the groups, online. I look for the comments on stories to, kind of get a feel from the locals of what they think, because a
Mhm.
lot of times they know a lot more than the press does.
Oh, yeah.
And it's interesting because people have really accused the teenagers there of not talking, but I don't know if I think that's true. This is an infographic that the sheriff's office released on the 14th, so
Mhm.
yesterday.
Mm-hmm.
And they are updating this every day, which I think is amazing. Can you imagine every sheriff's office doing this
It would be great.
when there's a big breaking case? Like, can you imagine this in Dylan Round's case if we saw this?
Right. If we saw this, that would be
Hmm.
amazing.
So, for those of you that are listening and not watching, it's an infographic that they posted on Facebook and Twitter that says update in the search for Kiely Rodni. Personnel assigned 307. Personnel hours cumulative 12,438. Air resources 3. Marine dive teams 2. Assisting agencies California Highway Patrol, Federal Bureau of Investigations, Truckee Police Department, Washoe County Sheriff's Office, Alameda County Sheriff's Office, Placer County DES, Placer County Fire. And then number of tips cumulative 1,200. And then there's a spot there, a link tree spot to submit a tip.
Wow.
And isn't that amazing?
Yeah.
So impressed. And,
It's really smart too, because so much happens behind the scenes in
yeah.
cases like this, and then
Mm-hmm.
the community gets frustrated because they feel like nothing's
Mm-hmm.
happening, but so much of it we wouldn't even know if it did or not. So to do that, it keeps the
Mm-hmm.
public informed, but also the police then, can prove that, yeah, they were in fact doing their due diligence here,
Right.
which,
They're holding themselves accountable.
yeah,
They also very early
great,
invited the FBI in, which they
good.
should have because this is kind of an interstate thing because it is
Hmm.
right on a state line. But
It's also a
there's,
missing child,
yeah,
and so
the
FBI
FBI
generally does
should be
that.
involved.
Great.
Yeah. But there's clearly been no ego here. They're asking for help, they're allowing help. Like they're just, in my opinion,
Good.
doing things right, at least from my observations. They
Mhm.
have their press woman that she's an officer that's the liaison to the press that leads the
Mhm.
press conferences is fantastic.
Good.
Really, really solid, really knowledgeable, really grounded. I'm just impressed. I have to say that.
This
And
is the
this
way
is
all these cases should go.
it is, and these guys are another fairly small county, or maybe not small
Mhm.
county, but small population that
Right.
probably don't come up against stuff like this very often, but I this is a master class in how to do it.
Mhm.
And I'm sure they'll have missteps along the way. I'm not saying that they're angels, but compared to so many other cases that we have followed, wow, this is
Well, and just
better.
the public reporting of, here's all the stuff we've done. Here's what
Mhm.
we're going to keep doing. I
Mhm.
mean, it is
Yep.
reassuring. Like, okay, they
Yes.
they are taking this seriously. They're not
Yep.
saying she just ran away because she's a teenage girl and they have
Mhm.
hormones, like we've seen so many
Well,
times before.
oh, 100%. Yeah. They also have not just gone, "Oh, well, she was probably just a drunk that ran off the road." They
Right.
haven't done that at all. A lot of
Good.
locals have done that, but they have not done that. They've said no. Part of the reason that they're calling a possible abduction is because her car is missing. They said that. I'm not sure
Mhm.
why that makes that qualified, but anyway, that's what they said.
Mm.
A couple other pictures that they released that I thought were interesting. This is from the air. This
Mhm.
is from a helicopter, and this is a dive team
Wow.
that's searching. There's a lot of water. So people have
Mhm.
been trying to get Adventures with Purpose to come
Yeah.
and join the dive search. And they have said, we can't right now because we're in the middle of something, but if come September they're still looking for her, we are headed to they're headed to California or somewhere in the area. They said,
Mhm.
on our way there, we will stop and do something here. So they are
Yeah.
answering the call, which is good because those guys
Just,
move mountains.
yeah, it's great. However, they've already got 2 dive teams out.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah. But they
like,
probably don't have the tech that Adventures
probably
has.
not, but at least
Yeah.
they have dive teams.
Yeah.
I'm
Yep.
looking at you, Idaho Falls, Idaho.
Mm-hmm.
You
Yeah.
know, the
Yep.
the
They're
young
at
man
least
that
trying.
yeah, the young man that, Adventures with Purpose just found
Hmm.
here in Idaho
That was
Falls,
just not hidden at all.
not hidden at all, and had we had any kind of dive team or any kind of technology, they would have found his body long before,
Yeah,
which is
for
so
sure.
aggravating.
It is. It is.
So
But
I'm happy
these
that at
guys
least
seem to
there
have
are
the
dive teams.
resources. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. A few things that have been released since she went missing. One is this close-up picture of her necklaces.
Mm,
I guess that's really common for her to have that series of gold chains on.
okay.
And so they wanted people to see those in case that jogs any kind of a memory or a sighting by
Sure.
anybody. This is a picture of her. Interestingly, it looks like maybe without the necklaces, or maybe they're kind of pulled off to the side. This is a CCTV
Hard to tell.
picture of her the day she disappeared, or the night she disappeared, around 6 o'clock in a store.
Okay.
So she is wearing a black spaghetti strap type bodysuit
Mm-hmm.
with green pants and a black belt with grommets on it.
Mm-hmm.
And uh, her shoes in this picture look white, but they actually are saying that she had on black Vans.
Oh, okay. Yeah, it's not the best quality picture. It's hard to tell.
Yeah, it's not, unfortunately. Also, she had been loaned this hoodie the day before by a friend. And so they wondered if, and she still has it, and her mom thought it was in her car. And so there's
Mm-hmm.
a thought too that she might be wearing this dark gray hoodie that has purple pansies on the back of it. It's a Lana Del Rey. And on the front, it says, "You don't want to be forgotten. You just want to disappear." And yes, some people are seeing that as a little ominous.
Weird.
I
Yeah.
don't think it really means anything, but it is kind of
Probably
strange.
not, but yeah, it is kind of creepy
Hmm.
considering.
Yeah. Now, this is a picture of her car. It's a 2013 silver Honda CRV.
Okay.
And they're obviously actively searching for it. Her phone has been
Mm-hmm.
off since about 12:30. The last place it pinged was in that campground. They think, remember how rural this is though, you
Yeah.
know. They believe it pinged in that campground or right in that general area about 12:30 roughly. Now understand this is still a developing case.
Oh,
And there's a
yeah.
lot of information out there. I have sorted for many hours through everything I could find, some of which I'm just not going to share, some of which if we have a few details incorrectly, we welcome you to correct us. We're doing the best we can with what we have out there at this
Yeah.
point. But
Well, we
our
don't
our
like to
point
share
is
rumors.
no,
There's lots of rumors and
no,
we want to share them
not
because that
worth
can be
it.
totally misleading, just like the fake serial killer.
Right. Well, and it keeps eyes off of the things that matter the most right now, which is missing Kylie.
Yeah.
So that's the basis of the case.
Mhm.
Obviously, they're continuing to search and update daily. The Placer County Sheriff's Office is a great place to start if you want to follow somebody on social media and keep an eye on this case. I would recommend doing that. There's a lot of TikToks about it. This is one thing that's kind of muddied the water is that some of the people that were at the party have made some very inappropriate, inflamed TikToks, some real attention seeking stuff.
Mhm.
There has been some weirdness with her boyfriend or ex-boyfriend, no one's quite sure, with at one point he had said, I guess on TikTok, that any leads needed to be passed on to him and he'd send them on to the police. The police said, please do not do that. We never said that. There's been a bunch of stuff
That's
like
super
this of
weird.
kids inserting themselves in this in ways that they shouldn't be,
Mhm.
but nobody knows what to do. You know,
Sure.
nobody knows what to do. So I'm going to share her missing poster again one more time. So again, her name is Kiely Rodni or Kylie. I want to call her Keely so bad. The spelling of her name makes me think Keely, but it's Kylie.
Mhm.
Kylie Rodni. Again, she disappeared from Prosser Lake Campground in Truckee, California. She is blonde. She has hazel eyes. She's 115 pounds. She's female. She's about 5'7". She has several piercings, including a nose ring, ear and belly button piercings. She has a tattoo of 17 on her ribs and scars on her left arm and near her wrist from surgery.
Mm.
Those are a few details about her.
Okay.
I'll just show
Mm.
you another picture of her face. So, our main objective is to get her face out there as far as we can to help be a part of the solution, obviously. I
Sure.
do want to show you a short clip from a press conference from a plea from her mother. So we'll do that.
We just want her home. We're so scared and we miss her so much and we love her so much. And Kiely, we love you. And if you see this, please just come home. I want nothing more than to hug you. And if anybody else out there, if you know where she is, if you know anything about where she might be, if you have any ideas or thoughts, please come forward and share them. And we're not looking to like bust anybody else or get anybody in trouble. We just want to see our daughter home.
Yeah. Her poor mom.
That's heartbreaking.
It's a nightmare. So, obviously, and as always, our hearts go out to them, holding space that she is found and that she's okay. And we'll continue to watch this case and update it as it moves forward.
For sure.
And, and as always, if you see something, say something. Even if it seems insignificant, always. I mean, obviously they've had 1,200 leads. That's why I think that this idea that the kids are all climbing up and refusing to speak may not be true. 1,200 leads is a lot.
That
and
is a lot.
They were really careful to be very clear in the beginning. We don't care what you were doing at that party. We could care less what was going on up there, except for that we need to find Kiely. So
right,
that's all we care about. No one's
getting a ticket for drinking or whatever. Just
tell us. And they set up their anonymous tip line immediately, which was really, really smart. Good. At least at this point, I hats off to the Placer County Sheriff's Office and to the searchers that are helping look for her. There's lots of community searches happening. The communities come out in droves to help find her as well. There was also a benefit concert a couple of nights ago from a lot of people that she makes music with that played her songs and, performed on her behalf to, I don't know, just wrap her family up in love, I think. And I believe they were earning some money too towards searching for her. So good things happening in the midst
of exactly how
tragedy.
It should happen.
Absolutely.
Take note. Yep. If it's not happening this way in your neck of the woods, there's a problem.
Yep, for sure. So there you have it. So Kristi, I'm going to turn the mic back over to you for a racial injustice piece.
Yes. So I debated about what to call this segment, but I think it probably does have some racial injustice involved. Well, not probably, it does. Salman Rushdie, who is a very famous writer, was attacked while he was on stage being interviewed just like a week ago in New York. So he was stabbed in the face and neck and arm area. He will likely lose one eye.
Oh.
The nerves in his arm were severed and his liver was stabbed and damaged. He's 75.
Oh my gosh.
So he's in rough shape. So if you don't know who Salman Rushdie is, Salman Rushdie wrote a book a long time ago called Satanic Verses.
Okay.
And it's a novel. Okay. But it's a novel about the author, the Prophet Muhammad.
Okay.
And the leaders of Islam were very unhappy with that particular book, found it to be blasphemous.
Okay.
He's a very intelligent man. He grew up in as a Muslim, has left his religion of birth, and is quite critical of it, which we know, is not. I can't think of a religion that doesn't have a negative reaction to that.
Yeah.
But actually, there was a price on his head. There has been a price on his head. That happened in 1989. The leader of of Iran, the Iranian leader, the Ayatollah Khomeini, if you recall
Yeah.
the Ayatollah, he deemed this to be blasphemous,
Okay.
and he issued a fatwa. It's a
Okay.
ruling in Islamic law that basically was calling for Salman Rushdie's assassination
Oh
for
boy.
writing this book.
Okay.
Um, he was given protection in England, I think, and he actually went into hiding for about a decade.
Wow.
At about that point, the Iranian government came out in 1998, so about 10 years
Mm-hmm.
after this first happened, that they would not enforce the fatwa, but it did remain um, active. They just said they weren't going to try to kill him.
Wow.
So, obviously it appears that this may be where this attack came from.
Yeah.
Um, but he's in really bad shape. He's an older guy, and he was hurt quite significantly. So was the person who was interviewing him. They were also injured, not as severely, but they were
Mm-hmm.
injured. So just wanted to, this feels racially motivated to me.
Mm-hmm.
And I know it's about religion, but there's a race element in there as well. So
Oh
that's why
yeah.
I put it here. But all our love to him, because he, as we know, has the right to criticize a system he doesn't believe in, and
Yeah.
or thinks is wrong. And we do that here in the United States all the time.
Mm-hmm.
That's happening against most religions now,
Mm-hmm.
and no one deserves to be killed or attempted to be killed
No.
for speaking criticism to a big system.
Yeah.
And
For
that's
sure.
what Salman Rushdie has done. So I just wanted to cover it because it's important. It's that idea that there's so much silencing going on,
Mm-hmm.
and book bans and book burnings and stuff
Mm-hmm.
like that. And so
Yeah.
I just hope for his recovery and that he's
Yeah.
going to be okay from
For
this.
sure.
It is questionable about whether he will be or not.
Oh yeah. His injuries are pretty vast. That liver.
Yeah, not good.
That's really concerning. Yeah.
Yeah, it is.
Well, there you have it. That is Tuesday. One quick update to our, I don't know. I don't want to say scheduling, but it kind of is.
Mm-hmm.
Tuesday morning, we are supposed to be going to court because Lori and Chad were both supposed to be at court. And this was supposed to be, the first time they would see each other in court at all, and the first time they'd see each other in like 2.5 years. So we were going to go to the Fremont County Courthouse and attend that hearing. On Friday, they ended up coming to an agreement about the DNA, and that's what the
Right.
big fight was going to be about. They came to an agreement, and so that ended the need for Chad and his attorney to be there. So they're now not coming. It's just going to be Lori and her attorney, and they're just talking to the judge about going back to the grand jury to specify charges.
Yeah.
So we're not going to go. It's not worth the time. We will live stream it, however. So we'll be live at 9 a.m. Mountain Time on Tuesday to live stream that and to talk about it some. But we won't be attending court because it's just not worth our time to drive up there.
Yeah.
And not when we can stream it, and it's inconsequential. This is
Mhm.
something that's probably going to last 10 minutes and be over. So
Right. They just want some clarification because when the grand jury combined some of her charges
mhm,
in a way that they can't be, so they
mhm.
basically have to break them out. The fraud charges got mixed in with the conspiracy charges, and they shouldn't. They should be separate.
Yeah. So this is just Lori's attorney doing his job because
Mhm.
he is
This,
good, So it's not a big deal, but we will stream it. So we will, still discuss it further. But wanted you guys to know that are still wondering if we're going to court. We're not, and this is why.
yeah,
When we do have a time when the two of them are going to be in the courtroom together, we will go
we will
for
absolutely.
sure. But it's a waste of your time and hours at this point. So
It is.
we'll stream it just in case anything interesting happens. So we'll be here with that. But
Sure.
at any rate, again, please keep an eye on the Kiely Rodni situation. Share it. If you see her missing posters come up, share them. If you have family in that area, make sure they know this is happening and just we'll keep an eye on it. So there you have it. Well, we will be back on Wednesday with a brand new episode. We'll be back Wednesday night at 7 for case updates. And for those of you that subscribe to the cold read party, the cold read party will be happening right after that. So we still have a lot going on this week. So pay attention. We'll be here. All righty. Well, this has been yet another production of the True Crime Squad. Take care.
Bye, everybody.